Hi everyone. Today we're reviewing software created by a company called August. They say you can train your legal AI to work the same way us lawyers do. So we're going to be going through some actual legal tasks. Their website says they can cut down work times from hours to minutes. So I'm pretty excited about August. I've already logged in, and the first thing we're going to look at is their AI assistant. So to access that, you can either go here where it says create new and then click chat, or you can just click assistant here, and that should take you to the AI assistant, which is this interactive area here. And using this AI assistant, you can search for information across your cases, your documents, and even your emails. So it's here. Integration here is where you can connect to your Outlook, your SharePoints, and from what I saw on their marketing material, they did say your Microsoft Suite. So I'm sure this is just the beginning, but it's really cool that you can connect to your Outlook. So you don't have to upload all your email communications. It will have access to it if you select this toggle here. Also, from using this AI assistant, I got the idea that if you're using a case management software like Clio, you can switch to August for that. So you won't have to use separate software. The difference is that with August, you can interact with all your documents in ways that I don't think you can with Clio. So here's the task I want to try. First, I want to prepare a proposed order of sale for a client called Henry C. Nevins Home Inc., based on the motion to appoint a receiver I've uploaded. So in my folders tab here, I've already uploaded all of our playbooks, all of our templates, and yeah, so here we go. These are all the receivership documents, and I said I want to create a document for this client here, Henry Nevins. So let's go back to our assistant. I'm going to type in that task here. By the way, you can use AI to improve your prompt as you type, or once you've typed, you can just hit improve, and then it will clean up whatever prompt you write. So you can imagine if this is a really long prompt, it can clean that up for you. Let's just go to original so we can see clearly. You can also save your prompt for later use. So for firms that want to keep writing prompts, what I used to do was I'd have a document and I'd just save all these different prompts, which is not effective. What you can do, it's not efficient, I mean. What you can do is you can save your prompts. So we're going to call this prepare proposed order of sale for a client. Or let's just say prepare proposed order of client, order of sale, and then hit save. So then at least we don't have to keep typing prompts, and then we can just edit these prompts as we use the platform. And then we're going to select our source. We've already uploaded it, so we can select it from the folders, the playbooks, and it should be Henry Nevins. There we go. So we've uploaded the motion to appoint a receiver. And on the create section here, you can create a tabular review, you can create a playbook, or you can draft a document. We're going to select playbook, and then I'm going to keep default here. You can select deep thinking or agent. We're going to try agent as well. So we're going to just select default for now, and then we're going to hit run. By the way, I think the voice feature here doesn't work for this free trial, but I'm sure if you get the paid version, it will work in time. So it's finished running now, and check this out. August will tell you all the steps it's taken and the rules it's followed, which is great. So here are all the rules that it's followed. And so what you can do is you can correct August exactly where it's going wrong. So it's given you the initial draft, and then essentially you're reviewing step by step. So it won't keep making the same mistakes. And by the way, in the draft feature, you can make immediate corrections to the software's draft, and it can redline in the process. If you've ever been frustrated with other AI tools that get things wrong, don't do what you want it to do, and you keep asking it to try again, and you're correcting it, and it can't figure out where you're going wrong, and then you end up having to write these huge paragraphs, and then it's, you say try again. If you know that process and you know what I'm talking about, August doesn't do that with its draft feature, which we're going to see later. It's just important for you to know that before we get into these rules. So here's its starting point. Let's just go through these rules so we can see. Here's its starting point. The proposed order of sale uses a complete and correct caption that matches the main receivership case. So I wanted to use the formatting of the sample I gave it, which is really important. So most of our documents follow the same formatting at the top. And so there's no need to keep rewriting and keep rewriting when we just need to change the name of a client, for example. So in this, it's given us the starting point here, starting position language here. And then this is the example language that it's used from the document I uploaded. You can always delete and add example language, and the same goes for adding fallback language. You can always add, delete, edit, etc. And then most importantly, you can always flag language, certain language that's not acceptable. What you can also do is add guidance language. So you can imagine this is a really complete, a really comprehensive rule following setup that they've got here at August, where you'll have examples, you'll have fallbacks, and then you'll have a second fallback after that, and then you'll have language that you automatically red flag. And so the red flag, I think, is really, really important, because then at least you're already you're cutting down the amount of work it has to do if you already eliminate certain language you don't want. What you can also do is you can use their AI feature. So for each rule, you can just hit this AI feature here, and then it will let you describe the general guidelines for the rule. So August will extract the starting point. It'll give you unacceptable language. You'll put unacceptable language and optional fallbacks from your description. So that applies to all the rules. So all the rules here, you have to just review this. August's done the work for you based on the samples I've uploaded. So obviously, the more samples, the more context you give it, the better rules it has. And then over time, once you save these rules, you can imagine how efficient it would be using August. By the way, I also want to encourage you to make use of these suggested follow-up questions. Just so you try out the whole platform, I want you to try out all the features. You'll find that it's suggested follow-up questions are not the typical generic ones you'll find when you're using like a generative AI tool like ChatGPT. What I also want to point out before we move on is August AI, when it's drafting and it's working, it has a tendency of highlighting things that you would ultimately be paranoid about, particularly when you're using AI. One of the things that you'd be concerned about is hallucinations. And the good thing about August is that it cites the sources of the case numbers, the case names, and so you can verify the things it's drafted. So it's not going to go outside of the context of the things you've given it. So if you've given it samples, it will use examples from that sample. So it's not just going to go generate names, cases, and things like that. It's going to stick to the sources you've given it. So it's different to generative AI like ChatGPT. If you're wondering what are some of the differences with using a generative AI, this specifically sticks to the sources you've given it, unless you tell it to go through the web, which is the research feature. If you look at the rest of this, I've gone through this already, but it looks pretty good. It's done well. And remember, this is the first draft, so it's not going to be perfect. We're going to make edits and tweaks to that. But other than that, it's a really good first draft. So this is the first video on August, guys. And then in the next videos, we're going to look at some other features they have and other tasks we can perform with it. Thanks, guys, for sticking with me. Take care.